came across a strange old man playing his fiddle. I became a fan. He played that fiddle as no man could. He bowed out tunes and was covered in mud. I wondered why he was standing there begging for money. It didn't look fair. I approached this man with such great care, with a question in mind, did I so dare? He smiled towards me as I looked at him, and I knew in my heart his life was dear. I've seen fine fiddlers, but never before had I heard fine music right from the core. He said he had learned from the birds in the sky, songs each morning he played till he died. He learned to listen to the breeze through the heather and play tunes with him in all types of weather. Each note he'd play, the birds would tweet. Crowds of people gathered in the street just to hear him play. Was all time real. His love for music has been revealed. As I left that old man, I thanked him so much, for deep inside my heart he did touch. A man without want, just helping the poor. A lesson I learned, that's a great thing for sure. He said he had learned from the birds in the sky, songs each morning he played till he died. He learned to listen to the breeze through the heather and play tunes with him in all types of weather.
Good morning, Linda Welby.
Good morning, Austin.
Or good afternoon.
It's afternoon here, yes.
In Connemara.
That's right, yeah. On the West Coast.
Consultato on your show.
How are you doing?
Consultato and will to the Gamahan Shin.
Tommy Gama. Biogan Agam.
Good. Well,
my mother came from Carrow. She was fluent Irish, but my dad wasn't, so we didn't get much spoken to growing up.
Right. So let's talk a little about that. We've got you from Connemara, but you grew up, was it in Loughrea?
I grew up in Loughrea, yeah. My dad was a musician. My mum also plays a bit of music. He played with Joe Burke, the accordion player, for many years as a traditional band. He was a drummer.
All right.
And I took up drumming after him, actually. I was drumming for about 15 years in traditional bands myself before I ever ventured anywhere else.
Yeah, I was up in Joe Burke's house there about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a lovely house up. Beautiful house.
Yeah, he's a great accordion player.
Isn't he? I think next week we have a bit of Joe's music coming up here, because I'll be over in Tralee and my wife Mary will be here doing the music show. So you people out there who are always waiting for Mary to come back on, she'll be here next Sunday, and she has a Joe Burke one in her selection. So anyway, Linda, music and growing up, you say you both on both sides of the family, and your mum out Connemara, so good traditional stock.
That's right. That's how my mum actually met my dad, was through music. She used to follow the band when he was with Joe Burke around, and it just, as the saying goes, they made music together.
Right.
So we were brought up really steeped in traditional music. There was always sessions on an ongoing basis in our house at home. You couldn't sleep at night, actually, so there was always instruments flying around the place, and that's how I learned to pick up most instruments. As I call myself, a jack of all trades and a master of none.
Oh, well, no, I wouldn't quite say that. Certainly your musical pedigree is well established, and what you've achieved has been fantastic. And again, we'll talk about that as we go along. So, what your dad played what?
He was a drummer. He was a drummer. He still is a drummer. He doesn't do much playing now on the road, but he loves the old sessions when we go down to meet and the neighbours come together, and we do that a few times a year, all the time.
Right. And what about your mum?
My mum, she just sits back and listens, or she'll sing a few songs. She'll sing an Irish song if you get her going, like.
Right. And when did you start taking music seriously?
Well, I was always a writer, poetry writer, and I started off playing drums because since the minute I was born, and my mother always maintains I was always at my dad when he was playing, since my christening. She reckons he brought me out to make money, but I was brought up in the pub scene and the hotel scene and the club scene with my dad, and I used to sit in his knee, like, playing the drums, and it had to be instilled in me. I was the only one out of my family. I'm the eldest of 5 that really picked up the music big time and continued on with it. I was about 14 years old then when I went out in a band drumming for the first time live. Very nervous, of course, but I never left it since.
And what band were you with back then?
Well, it was a family band. My uncle and 2 uncles in it, and my dad was in it.
Right.
And when he left it, then I kind of took over the drumming from there. And the box players, my grandfather was in it. He was a fiddle player, and he was a renowned fiddle player. He a lot of trophies to his name, and I think that's where I picked up the fiddle then, when he gave me a fiddle, and I was about 15 years old, and then he trained me how to play the fiddle.
Right. You have a large brood of kids there yourself.
I have 8, yeah. I have 4 girls and 4 boys, and that's the way they came along as well.
I like the way you said that's the way they came along. That's the way they came along.
Nice and even.
So having 8 kids and living out in Connemara must be a bit of a challenge when it comes to just being involved in the music industry.
Initially, when I was kind of working part-time at it initially for maybe 2 or 3 of them, but slowly got into it. I decided I just couldn't be without a band, and slowly started getting gear together, and I formed my own band when I came out here, and they were called Shebean at the time, and kind of went from there. I was drumming, I had a accordion player, and I had a fiddle player, and I was happy enough out.
Right. And then at what stage would you say that you started to get noticed in your own right?
Well, as I said, I was always a writer. I think when I got keyboards for the first time ever, I kind of discovered the composing side of myself, and I just loved the keyboard and working on it. So I had songs put together on a demo for about 3 years, I'd say, and I went to a studio, Greenfields in Hertford in County Galway, Gerald O'Donoghue, and he heard the songs, and he said it was different, and I thought really when I brought them to him that there'd be someone else to sing them, because I was never a singer. I never classed myself as a singer, and I still find it very hard to class myself as a singer. I'm the last person that would sing anywhere if I could get away with it. But put 12 songs down on an album called A Story to Tell, and released The Galway Fiddler as you played there for the first time, and it just took off. It was just amazing. Now,
The Galway Fiddler wasn't based on your grandfather or anything. That was just came from within.
It came from within, from my love for buskers, musicians on the street. I just loved them, and it was many a bad day they took me out of just standing watching them.
Well, of course, down in Shop Street in Galway, there was always...
Down in Shop Street in Galway,
there's always music.
Around by the Claddagh and the Nuns Island. And
That's right. Yeah, and of course, if anyone wants, you can go out on the internet on YouTube, and there's a wonderful video out there of Linda's performance of the Galway Fiddler, and it has fantastic scenery of Galway. And as my listeners know, I have a real soft spot for Galway.
Yes.
So
you've been to Galway, have you?
I'm from East Galway.
Oh, it's East Galway.
Yeah, I'm from Ballinasloe.
All right, that's not too far away from where I am actually. Anyway, at home.
All right, yeah, from Loughrea. Then and I'll give the listeners a flavour of the music as we talk on as well. I noticed one of the things that you've done is your style, and you certainly couldn't be boxed in to say that you only are into one type of music.
Well, that was always an issue, when somebody would ask me what genre, what is it? Is it country? Is it Irish? I could never describe what it is. It's a mixture of different genres.
Yeah, and even from an instrumental perspective, because in the instrumentals, there's kind of the traditional flavour, and then you have the country and Irish flavour, and then there are the ballads in there. It's a right across the board.
It is, yeah. It's even classed as country, like in America and Canada.
No, I'm glad you're raised in America and Canada, because you have managed to spread your wings. You've got noticed and have managed to tour in North America, and you've been over to England. You've been around. Give us a little bit of background. Tell us a bit about that.
First time I travelled was to Nashville for an interview and a local TV spot there. And while I was there, I got the chance to travel a bit as well. I got a DJ spot, actually, on the Nashville radio as well, and I'm working at that since. It'll be 3 years now in September. They just loved the accent, and he asked me would I do an hour of Irish, coming from Ireland every week. And I said, maybe, yeah, I'll try it. And it's gone to 2 hours now every week. And I also DJ now through Dublin, World Party Radio, and they put up programs there, and I love the DJ work. I just love it. I got from there.
So, Linda,
while I was in Nashville, I got to visit Beverly Hills in Los Angeles to see an idol of mine, Pat Boone. I was always a lover of Pat Boone. I got a chance to meet him.
Right. And, of course, I know you were down in Texas.
That's right, yeah. I got an award while I was there, International Songwriter Award, which I was thrilled with.
Right. Now, tell me about your DJing, because I take it that you obviously then do your recording at home, and you have a studio there, and you just upload it over to Nashville and upload it up to Dublin?
That's right, yeah.
That's exactly what I'm going to do next week in Tralee.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nothing like it.
Nothing like it, because next week I was a bit afraid to consider coming live from Tralee, so I'm actually going to record the 3 Canadian Roses on Saturday and upload it on Saturday night. And I have a request in to meet Dahi. I'm waiting to hear back on that one.
I shall love Dahi. You'll get on very well with Dahi.
We'll see. We'll take that one as we find it too.
Irish thing.
Yeah. So so you're now doing 2 hours a week on radio in Nashville, and how much?
Yes, and that's affiliated then to different stations.
Fantastic.
Usually, I wouldn't be able to name all the stations now, but they're affiliated to quite a few across America and Canada.
So that must give you a tremendous exposure, and contact right across the US.
It does. I get a lot of albums and CDs from American and Canadian artists as well, and even gone into Europe, in Africa and Denmark, and it's brilliant.
Right.
Class.
Right. Well, you know how the system works then, because we're going to take another musical break.
Okay.
And do you want to introduce this one? We're going to play the hornpipe from your story to tell.
The hornpipe is called Paddy Dory's hornpipe, and Paddy Dory was my dad, and I named that hornpipe after him.
And again, this because of the traditional music. And this is what I was saying earlier on, in that your flavour of music, because what we started with the Galway Fiddler, there was a kind of beat to it, but this is nearly pure traditional music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Paddy Dory's Hornpipe. You're listening to the Gaelic Hour here on Chin 97.9 FM, and we're chatting with Linda Welby. We have a commercial break coming up, and we'll be back afterwards, continuing our chat with Linda. morning, 18 degrees. It'll be sunny with clouds, and then on a Monday over in Connemara, a place that I love, out there around Malmcross and out Carraroe, and when you get out to Clifton and all that wonderful part of the country. And Linda is a singer-songwriter, and it comes from, as we've found out in the first segment, comes from a good tradition in Irish music. Linda, we talked there earlier on, you've 8 kids.
That's right, yeah. They range from 22 down to 10.
What are they up to?
So, what are they up to? That's a good question. The eldest one is nursing, and the second lady is doing hairdressing. The third one will be off to college, and it's kind of schooled in after that.
Right.
So,
and
there's a few years left yet.
Yeah, you have with the youngest at 10. The economy in Ireland isn't the best, so kind of having a large family, it couldn't be that easy.
No, it's getting pretty bad now at the moment, and it's supposed to get worse. So we just have to wait and see and make do with what we can make do with them.
Right, and I take it you're all living out in Connemara, so aside from maybe the elder two.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we are.
Yeah. So how do they, and how do you think bringing the kids up out in Connemara as distinct from maybe in Dublin or Galway? Obviously.
Well, it's the countryside, and every family likes to bring children and raise family in the countryside more so than the bigger cities and that. I don't know if it's. I really don't know if there much of a difference, which way you're brought up, but. They say the country is the best.
Yeah. Now, Linda, you mentioned your mum particularly was a fluent Irish speaker, and you're out there.
Right.
You're out in Connemara. Is there much Irish in the area?
There is. It's 100% Irish. Everybody has Irish. Even where I'm living here, everybody has the Irish. If you speak it to them, my mother, she was the youngest of 16, and she didn't meet her older sisters and brothers. They went off to England and America, and wouldn't have met up unless there was funerals or. And I remember my mum meeting her sisters for the first time at her own mother's funeral. Yeah. And they were all Irish, they just got together, and even though they were that long gone, the Irish was still there.
Yeah.
They all spoke it.
And would there be, when you say if you speak to someone in Irish in that area, as you're walking around, because one of the things I must say I enjoy about Galway City even is that it's quite possible as you're walking down, particularly along Shop Street, you're quite liable to hear 2 or 3 people walking along conversing in Irish.
Oh, you are, yeah. Nearly every time I'd be in Galway, you'd meet a couple of you just talking away in Irish, and it's just great to see, all the time.
Right. Let's go back to your songwriting. And you say when you were over here, you got the opportunity to go out to Beverly Hills and meet Pat Boone.
That's right, yeah. I spent the day with him.
You did more than meet him, didn't you?
I did more than meet him, yeah. I wrote a song, we did a duet together. And I'll be releasing that later on in the year.
Right. That must have been a thrill.
Oh, that was a thrill, yeah. It's just class. I always looked up to him. The very first time I heard him, and I think it was about 15 years old when I heard him on a CD. And it was a Reader's Digest CD that was hanging around, and I stuck it in, and I just couldn't stop listening to the voice. He was a man I had to meet. And I did.
And what age?
That was the highlight of my...
Yeah, what age is Pat Boone now?
Pat Boone is 75 now, gone last June.
Right.
And he doesn't even look, he doesn't look a day of it. He's just a fit man, fit man.
So that's coming out when?
That'll be coming out later on in the year.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of concentrating on another project at the moment. So it's called the She Amigos. There's 3 ladies of us together.
And who would that be?
Myself and Regina McDermott in Roscommon, and Denise Brown in County Donegal, and we're called the She Amigos.
Okay.
And we're managed by Pat Garrett, who has the ICMR radio.com.
Okay.
And I happened to start DJing there 2 weeks ago as well. So, Irish Country Music Radio.
Do you have any time off?
That's down in Limerick.
Yeah, do you have any time off? Between the kids and the music and the DJing?
I do, yeah, I get a bit.
Right. So the
I
three.
don't mind now and again.
Okay, so the three, you three ladies, what genre, what kind of stuff are you doing, and how's that going?
We wanted to be different. We didn't want to be country, and we didn't want to be Irish. We wanted something that would bring back what people remembered maybe of the 50s and 60s, songs that they loved, songs they could dance to, and that would joggle a few memories.
For example,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, give me a few examples. Like what? Not Eileen Reid. Not Eileen Reid. I get my wedding dress away. No.
Like the song. No, that was our first song that we released. We didn't know where we were going to go with it. It was a bit of fun.
You mean I just pulled that out of the air, and I'm right?
Yeah.
I had no clue. I just pulled that out of the air. Okay.
Okay. Keep looking. Keep pulling out of the air.
Okay. What else are we going to get?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's coming next.
Okay.
We've just threw out this, and this is the first time it's actually being played in Canada, because it's only just out, hot. And
oh no, you're talking about.
Got around to playing it yet.
No, you're talking about I'm a Woman. That one.
Yes.
Oh no, I thought when I said that the Eileen Reid, I get my wedding dress away. We're not talking about that.
No, I didn't give it away. No.
No. Okay.
It's somewhere.
Okay. So.
Not that it'll ever be Warden again, but.
So the piece we will be hearing, I'm a Woman.
I'm a Woman.
Okay, that's one of the pieces that you're working with the other two girls on? Or
that's right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the song we just released.
Okay. And we will be playing that as we come up the top of the hour. So, from a work perspective around Ireland, and what, aside from the DJ and the radio stuff, are you performing much around the country? And what's the business like now, particularly for if you're going out there, three females? Is it into the pub scene, or are you able to do concerts? And is the money there? Are you getting the audiences?
Yeah, I left. I had a two-piece band going there since right up to December, and I had to leave that because the two didn't go together anymore. Because with the band I didn't sing, and I just played keyboards, and it was. I was finding it hard to separate the two. You know, that people would come to see Linda Welby, but they weren't getting Linda Welby, if you know what I mean.
Right.
And then February, I went to Australia in February to Melbourne, because I won I was top 10 of an Australian song competition. So I had to go out and perform out there in the theatre. And then that was shortly after I done a 6-night tour here of Ireland in the theatres. And that went fairly well. But since then now I've just more or less concentrated on the recording of this new song and getting this new project together. And I'm quite thrilled with this new project.
Now, I know when we were chatting off air, I asked you, had you made it to Canada, and you told me you had a visit to Toronto. And that was last September?
Last September, yeah. I did the Celtic Beach Festival down there by the beach.
Right. Absolutely
fabulous spot. There's a lot of lovely people, and it was lovely. It was really nice.
Right.
It was an experience.
And that's been your only gig in Canada so far?
That has been my only one, yeah.
Yeah, well, something has to change on that, doesn't it? No, I want you to give us the list of, because you just told us you won the songwriting contest out in Australia. I know you've won awards in Ireland. Give us a list of what you've been, some of the accolades.
All right. I did the festival in Texas. I did Nashville. The Nashville Palace. I did...
Right, but Linda, aside from that, you got an award in Texas.
That's right, yeah. I got International Songwriter of the Year.
Right, you got an award in Australia. In that your song.
Right, yeah.
And you got
for my song, yeah.
And if I recall, you got something in Kinsale, or there was a. Did you get an award in Ireland as well?
I got a lot of awards now in Ireland for Female Artist of the Year, and there's a load of different names now, it's hard to pronounce them.
Right.
Accomplished Songwriter of the Year, recognition. I got first one I got here was down in Limerick for the Female Artist of the Year, and that's my highlight, you know.
Right.
First one.
Right. So, aside from the three ladies and that project, where do you see the future, or how are things panning out for you? And what would you like to achieve over the next 5-10 years?
Well, I'll always be writing. I write all the time. I don't think I'm ever without thinking or writing. I even use my phone now just to write things down. It's a lot handier than carrying around pen and paper these days.
Let me guess,
so be travelling it.
You're not texting the words back to yourself, are you?
Sometimes. Sometimes I do say to people, if anyone saw my phone, they'd say, "Who was she texting there?" Like.
And the reason, of course, I said that is, and the listeners wouldn't necessarily know, Linda has written a song, and again, you'll find it out on YouTube. I'm not playing it today because I have some other ones coming up in the second hour. But she wrote a song, a wonderful song about texting. And
I wrote that song based on, everybody saying, God, everywhere you go, you hear it. Somebody sent a text to somebody, or I sent a text last night, and I was sorry for sending it, or I sent it to the wrong person. That gave me that idea.
I see, yeah. And sorry, I interrupted you there. We're saying, where would you? So you're writing. On the writing side of it, when you write a song, you put it out there. You're putting yourself. You're exposing yourself. You're kind of open to criticism and the critics and all the rest. But one of the joys must be if somebody takes up one of your songs. Have your songs started to be taken up by other artists?
That would be great, because when I set out in the beginning, I was hoping, that was what I was kind of hoping for. And, a lot of questions I often was asked, who would I like to see singing them? I don't think it would matter to me, it's just the joy of having somebody sing your song. And I know Stephen Smith here in Ireland, he's from County Down, and he came to me about 2 years ago and asked me for my song Crazy Love. Could he use it? And I didn't release it. I said, I'd be thrilled, And he really, I just love listening to his version of it, It's
right.
Cool.
And has anyone else taken up any of them yet?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay.
No, not at the moment. People say they're very difficult. So I said, I'll have to start making them more simple.
No, well, they are, and as I said, we will be playing some, so they are very individualistic, and there's wonderful music and wonderful words in all of them there. So you would hope to continue writing and performing. Any other goals, ambitions? Like, you're not thinking of running for president, are you? No.
I won't do Jenna on it. No, I cannot see that working. I'm not really interested in politics or anything like that. It's just, I don't even watch the news, so I wouldn't even know what was going on unless I hear it. But no, writing. I'll stay writing, and I'll stay recording, and I'll stay doing my own stuff. And I hope to start doing duets with people. It's something I always wanted to do, but was deterred from it up to now.
Right.
But I would like to do duets with people.
So will you be watching the Rose of Tralee?
I will, hopefully.
Will you be cheering for the Ottawa Rose?
I will. I will. I will.
Because Galway has a Rose this year, haven't they? Or have they?
I don't know. To be quite there you have it now. I don't know. I know there's an Ottawa Rose.
There's an Ottawa Rose, and our Rose is Kate Scott, and Kate will be playing the harp. Linda, we're going to wrap up. And I want to thank you for taking the time, and it's been brilliant talking to you. And
I want to thank you, Austin, and all the listeners there.
And the viewers.
And the viewers. For playing my music.
Your picture is up on the anyone that's in viewing, the joys of it as well, has been able to put your picture up as a over my shoulder on the screen. And I hope the listeners, as they get to know your music, go looking for you out on the web. The website, of course, is lindawelby.com.
That's right, or thesheamigos.com, or icmr.com.
So the She Amigos, you're talking SHEAMIGOS?
That's right, yeah.
Okay, thesheamigos.com. Right.
That's the new formula.
And when you're out there broadcasting on Nashville radio, if anyone is looking for you, are there links on your own website to any of those? There is, yeah. They're all there, www.nbrn.fm. And you have the www.worldpartyradio.com as well, in Dublin. I'm blown away because, it's one of the things that these kind of things can land on your lap, and it's totally by accident because you happen to be in the right place and you talk to somebody and they say, you do a fantastic job, and then you get the opportunity to be able to do it. And you certainly have done a fantastic job with your music, and congratulations indeed with all the awards.
Thanks very much, Austin.
And
Thank you.
Indeed also congratulations with the gigs that you got on all the radio stations. And
Thank you very much.
I'm hopeful that on one of my trips back home, that when I'd be checking out to see who's on where, that sometime when I'm floating past somewhere, that you might be doing a gig close to where Mum is. And Mum, I think if you're looking in, Mum, and my mother's in North Sloan, Mum is 90 on Wednesday.
Oh, that's great.
So
Fabulous.
happy birthday.
Mum.
Indeed. Indeed. So we're going to go out, and we're going to go out with that one you sent me, I'm a Woman. Do you want to lead in and tell us the background, other than that it's the She Amigos?
Well, this band is called the She Amigos, Linda Welby, Regina McDermott and Denise Brown, and this is our first single, just out, just hot, just played in Ottawa for the first time, and it's called I'm a Woman.